Welcome to week 7. Now, I know it's our last week. I know some of you are already looking over the horizon. You already looked at week 8, wondering what's going on and how much I got to get out of this class. Focus. Stay strong. We still got a lot of work to do. This week, we're going to go back to chapter 4. Now, I know some of you are thinking, what's wrong with this joker? In week 1, we went to chapter 14. Now we're near the end of the course. We're going back to chapter 4. Here's why I did this. I think that chapter 4 offers a good reminder of some of the principles we've learned during our time together, and I think this is key in time for your final project. Okay. Now, as you read chapter 4, don't get confused with the part of the chapter about the proposal. You've already done that, but this is a good example that you can emulate for future, more thorough research. The chapter also reviews the value of fieldwork, interviews, textual analysis, visual data, and how to choose the right empirical materials for your project. And then here's the key. This is why I really chose chapter 4 for week 7. It closes with a step-by-step guide for writing a research proposal, okay? And that proposal, even though you've done that before, it kind of makes that full circle as we finish our final project and our time together. Some of you have already written your final project, and so you'll be able to look at this and reflect upon that project that you wrote. I also want to draw out figure 4.1, and it depicts this yin and the yang, interviews and field work that complement each other. Interviews kind of act as the more obtrusive or the strong yang-like component, whereas field work acts as the more submissive or the free-flowing yin. Now, they're not complete opposites. There are seeds of one that can be found in the other, which is often the principle if you study the yin and the yang. Okay, one of our supplemental articles is Goranson and Fagerholm. The purpose of their paper is to explore how a visual perspective can be applied to strategic communication research. This visual information is becoming more and more important. It's important not just for social media, which I've seen more and more, but it's important in other types of media as well. It's how people tend to gather information, and it's been the case for millennia, but even more so now. If you do the research and you find that where people get their information, think about YouTube and other videos, even down to memes on Twitter or things like that. That visual, it's visually appealing. And while it is increasing in importance, it's always been there. I mean, for those of us who go back to the old newspaper days, you know that nothing sells a story like a compelling photo. The same is true today. As you're scrolling through or trying to look at news online or what have you, a picture will grab your attention. A video will engage you. So that's the importance of visual communication. It's why I wanted to make sure that we had a paper that explored how visual communication can be used as part of qualitative research. Okay, on to Hyde et al. The purpose of the article is to contribute to the discussion concerning the present position and future directions of strategic communication. Take a more of a holistic, approach. Now, research typically focuses on the communication professionals, right? How do we do this? How do we apply qualitative research? How do we use communication principles to do our job? But this reflects kind of a limited comprehension of the organization, because we're usually just a small part, unless you belong to a communication firm, think public relations firm or an advertising firm or something like that. But in most organizations, communication is a supporting element of the larger organization. And this article addresses the need to focus not only on communicators, but also on managers, coworkers, other key actors within the organization in order to understand how they theorize and practice strategic communication. Most of the time, those internal stakeholders, that's our customer. We're trying to help leaders more effectively communicate. We're trying to help our coworkers communicate in a way that they can achieve their objectives. We're trying to help our customers better understand how they can use strategic communication for their goals. So an interesting article. I encourage you to read it. As always, take out that information that you find most useful. All right, that's it. One more time. Stay ahead with your assignments. Stay engaged in the discussion board and enjoy your time of learning.